Hi there, Yvette here. Welcome to Mi Casa es Su Casa. Today, we're going to do a watercolor bouquet roses and a crazy background. I will be using Superior watercolor today. Let's get started. Today, we're going to be coloring this kind of roses that I made in different colors, these little buttons and these leaves. Today I am using Cason paper 300 grams, and remember to use the correct size of the paper. Also, we're going to be using the Superior watercolor, and I really love these watercolors because they are fun to use. You can open it like a fan, and they have a very good amount of different tones of colors. I have my swatch ready just to check the colors I am going to be working. So I choose some reds here. I have some yellow, orange, I have some purples and some greens. So I have here what I need. This kit comes with this brush that you can add water inside. That is really good for me. So you can add some clean water. It's not a very thin brush, but the point is good for me. Okay, I am loading my brush with red, and the beginning of the center of the flower always is going to be like a stronger color. So I am using this red, and I'm doing this little circle, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit more to my brush to have a little more water. So I'm going to do 4 movements around my circle. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going to make a number 9. Now I'm going to clean my brush, and with that clean water I'm going to add in the top of each of my curves some clean water, and I'm going to start connecting my colors or my petals. So all this is about to do a spiral. So with that clean water, let's start connecting the dots. So I'm going to start doing this again, semicircles or these spirals, and I'm going to be trying to respect the light and the brightness of each petal. So each time that I add more water, I'm not adding more paint, just water. So don't be afraid to keep moving around and leaving white empty space. That this is what we're going to be looking. So here you can see how I am just playing and working just around, and if I need water I can squeeze the bottle, or I can add clean water into my brush.
Está en el papel y se seca, pierde la intensidad.
Now we're going to leave alone that red rose, and we're going to create a new one. Let's do some purple one. So I'm going to clean my brush again because I don't want to have contaminated the bristles. I'm going to add again the same technique, 1 dot, and we're going to go and create this 4 semicircles around the dot. And if you notice, these lines are close to my middle circle. Number 9, can you see the number 9? I'm going to clean my brush, add some clean water, and I'm going to start adding in the top of these lines some water to connect the watercolor. And it's so beautiful how the watercolor is going to be following the water. Wherever I add water, the water is going to be creating these beautiful petals. And remember, the movement is the same, a spiral, and allowing to have white empty spots to represent the lights and the brightness of each of the petal. Now I'm going to be adding more volume to this flower, and the way that I'm doing it is just adding the same color and adding more of the purple around my petals. Just remember that it's really important to leave white areas that represent the light of the petals. If you want to add another extra light, don't worry. When it's still wet, the paper, just clean your brush and come and touch the area that you want to clean. And I am like cleaning now the color, and I am taking out the color, and I am creating a new light of the petal. Now I am adding more color to define better my petals. Now it's time to add some color, like a secondary color or like a brightened color to complete the flower. So to this red pink one I am adding a little yellow, and as my rose is still wet, I like how the yellow is getting mixed with the background of the petals. So then what we're going to do with the purple, also we're going to add, I clean my brush first, so I am adding a little red. And this area is already dry, so don't worry. What I'm doing is I am pushing my brush and I am adding water. So that's why here it looks a little intense, but more I add water, more the red with the purple is going to be mixing. Now let's add some buttons. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some straight red, and I'm doing like a little drop with a very thin point. That is one side of my button. I'm going to clean my brush, add clean water or a squeeze, and then I'm going to touch the button and I'm going to drag the color, the watercolor into the top. The idea is to have one side more lighter than the another side. Okay, same way, let's do a second one. This time is going to be a skinny one. Touch the button and drag the color into the top, and you can revisit the time that you need it. But remember, it's important one side needs to be clear or lighter than the another one. Let's do a third flower because it's in design it's really good to see odd numbers always. The white space, empty space, help us to see the petals of these flowers. While it's still wet, the paper, let's clean up some of the color to add one light here. Let's paint the third button now. Now I'm going to add a little orange to this rose. If you feel your paper is dry already, don't worry, wet your brush and add some water, and you will see how the watercolor is going to follow in the water that you are adding here. I have a little accident with yellow and red in the top of my paper, but you know, it's no problem, it's a happy accident because now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding more purple flowers in our background. I am starting with a light purple, and the way that I'm doing is just adding more water to my paint to make it more clear, the purple. Okay, now I want to add this kind of flower in this corner. So let's start with, again, with the same red that we were using before. The way to do it is as you are doing like this leaf. So first what I'm doing is I am creating the direction, and then I'm just giving the volume going around each of the petals. So what I'm doing just is like touching the paper and pushing a little bit more my brush into the paper to deliver more of the paint. Let's add another one of these flowers. Now let's do it here. I always try to do odd numbers, remember? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 petals. I am adding another extra petal here because I was missing, and another one in the bottom, and I think these flowers are great. Okay, now with a light gray, let's start to add some stems to the flowers. Here I am adding around the bottom some of the green leaves. Here I am adding a dark green just to give another dimension and shadows to the light green. Okay, now it's time to paint some leaf. So I load my brush with a light green, and I am creating this movement one side of the leaf, and with a dark green I am going to do the another side of the leaf. And if you notice, I leave a white empty space in between them. Let's do it again. Now I'm going to be painting another leaf with a little more movement, just the background with a light green. Let's paint another one. First I go outside the line just to create my outline of the leaf, and then I'm going to start adding the color inside my leaf.
oscuro.
What I'm doing now is that I'm just adding a dark green to give more the idea of the veins on the leaves. So what I'm doing here is just adding different branches and leaves all around the flowers. Next, I'm going to be adding more violet into my purple flowers. So I'm going to be creating a shadow first, and then I'm going to start adding more dots. Here now I'm going to start adding more lines to my roses. I'm going to be using the purples, and I'm going to start adding some spirals or semicircles around this rose to give the idea of the petals. Now I'm going to be doing the same with the red roses. Let's add a little red here. Now it's time to work our background. We need a big brush. We're going to prepare our colors with a lot of water. We have here two different greens, light green and dark green. So in this part it's really important that you have enough water in your paints. Okay, let's start adding your paint into your brush and try to paint as close as you can to the flowers with a light green. So the importance of this technique is the paint need to be with a lot of water because we want to create drops. As soon as you have enough paint, place it in the paper, add water, and you will see more water you add, then you are going to start creating these kind of drops that we're looking for. Add another kind of green to give different shapes and colors. Remember to keep adding water to make this effect of these drops. Move around your paper to manipulate the water and tap the paper into your table to create these lines. Keep adding different colors until you find the combination that you are looking for. Adding the water will help you to create this effect. You can also use a spray with water, and it's really easy to do. Add the paint and then spray the water. Be careful, do not do it so close to the paper. Feel free to add any other color that you liked in this painting. Remember to add enough water to make this blurry effect. It's time to add some pink and purples. Remember to use enough water to have the colors very light. Start adding the red as close as you can to the leaves and to the flowers. Add clean water to create these drops. Add just water now. This background is ready. Now it's time to add some crazy dots. Protect your paint with a piece of paper. Add red paint into your brush. And let me show you the way I do it. Now it's time to add white gel. Add some white dots in the dark purple areas. Add white lines in the leaves and in the branches. It's time to add white lines into the petals. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you want to see next time in the comments below. Also make sure to check out my social media and my Etsy shop. See you next video. Bye!